Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Bridging the Chat, a podcast connecting people and their environment. This is your host, Hunter Moore, and this episode is special. Bridging the Gap's keynote speaker at our Planting Possibilities annual event was Dr. Robin Wall Kimmerer, who I'd bet many listeners have heard of before. Dr. Kimmerer is a mother, scientist, decorated professor, and enrolled member of the Citizen Potawatomi Nation. She is also an acclaimed author of Bud Finds Her Gift, The Serviceberry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World, Gathering Moss, A Natural and Cultural History of Mosses, and of course, Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. Robin is also championing a new movement called Plant Baby Plant, a direct counter to Drill Baby Drill, and you'll learn more about how to get involved as you listen. After the annual event, a small group of partners and friends had the privilege to lead Robin on an intimate hike through high-quality natural areas in Swope Park. We started by meeting representatives from local indigenous groups at Hope Lodge, an old scout lodge in Swope Park that is being turned into a Native American learning and cultural center. This project is being driven by Director of Kansas City Parks and Rec, Chris Cotton, who is indigenous himself. Afterward, we traversed down the trail to Rocky Point Glades, a beautiful remnant limestone glade and one of our original wildlands natural areas. Rocky Point Glades is home to blooming larkspurs, primitive ferns, glade specialist biscuit root, a story about a rescued native plant population, interesting birds like blue-gray gnatcatchers and yellow-rumped warblers, and the complex interplay between fires and glades. As we follow the trail, you'll hear from Linda Lairbaum, the original WildLands program manager, Larry Rizzo, the founder of WildLands, current WildLands staff like me, Sarah, and Jacobo, and of course, Robin herself. The hike was full of conversation and awe as we introduced Robin to the vibrant ecosystem, and we wanted to bring you along.
However,
Plant baby plant!
So I was just tell me what you need done and I'll go do it. It was the land manager, so it's MDC, Johnson County Park and Recreation District. It was representatives from 31 different partners who saw this one vision. So we had like the local electric power company, at the time it was KCMO, and the Sierra Club sitting at the same table with this sole focus of fixing these remnants. And so I was lucky enough to be able to help implement that. In the beginning, nobody knew what shrub honeysuckle was or invasive plants. So you look through there and all you see is that mid layer of green, solid honeysuckle. You could bring the entire Parks Department out here and it looked like that in several areas, and they absolutely saw nothing wrong with that. There was nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
And trying to explain to them it's a monoculture. You've got 200 species of original plant life here. But we need to save it. Our original work days consisted, a lot of them would have over 200 people per work day. Couldn't have been done if it hadn't been for all these partners who were just really into making this happen. And now we're in WildLands 2.0, where we've got the big dogs and the big guns, and fire is part of the words that are used. Nobody hesitates on that anymore. Bringing out forestry grinders to go after huge patches of it, and parks departments with trained staff that will actually hire companies to go in and kill invasive plants and open up a woodland again on a non-remnant area because it feels good to human beings.
Yeah.
This was probably the most important part of putting thousands of volunteers on the ground. Was then there were thousands of people that saw that for the first time, realized what they were missing.
We're finding instances of the Japanese honeysuckle. Is it a rust, right?
oh,
Which
really?
you don't usually like to see things get sick, but honeysuckle,
That's about all
yeah.
we can hope for with some of this stuff. Anyway, I mean, we
Yeah.
draw our lines in the sand, and we can battle it here. We got about 55 acres here, but if you look at an aerial photo of the city,
Thanks.
we're
Yeah.
a drop in the bucket of a large
You bet.
ocean of shrub.
You bet.
And new ones coming in all the time.
One of the things we've been thinking about too, though, is I don't think we have it quite like you do, but is the way that honeysuckle is really feeding a lot of songbirds, and so the goal is not to eradicate it like you ever could, but to rebalancing it and to recognize that, you know, things like our catbirds and so forth are crazy about those honeysuckle thickets.
However, the research has shown it's not very nutritious for birds.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
It's like junk food for birds.
Oh.
It doesn't have lipids in it.
So it's not going to help
It's not a
for
healthy
nestlings
food for
and
birds.
yeah.
There are many native alternatives to honeysuckle that provide actual nutrition to birds and other wildlife without harming the ecosystem around them. A few options include possum haw, also known as deciduous holly, all the native viburnums like rusty viburnum, black haw viburnum, arrowwood viburnum, and nannyberry, and of course, the beautiful serviceberry tree.
I like seeing my cedar waxwings and robins eating those because I know at least when they fly off and do their thing.
They're well nourished, huh? Yep.
Nice vista point of what decades of community-driven restoration can look like. Like Linda was sharing, this whole place was infested with dense populations of honeysuckle, and now it is a native ecosystem that's pretty well in balance. And you can just get the sense of kind of your shoulders dropping and the relief and just the respite from all of our urban lives of being out here and looking through the forest, looking at the forest floor and seeing 15 different species all like at your feet. This is an area that we were lucky enough to burn in December, and so all of the new growth here is a nice response to that prescribed fire that we also do with volunteers. So it's a cool volunteer opportunity and another way to deepen your connection with nature and all of its natural processes. So we'll continue down the trail, loops around the glade right here, and then once we're kind of spread along the trail, we can get some seeds from Sarah and give back to the land that we collected from. So it's a full circle picture of restoration where people are involved in every step of the way.
Now, for a botanist from afar, what's a glade?
Good question. So
We had an interpretive sign up there.
I know. I saw it and I thought, I got to go read that, but we walked past it. So, yeah, tell me.
I don't know how broadly the terminology is used like it is in Missouri, but in Missouri terrestrial natural communities, glades are areas that have very thin soil. They usually have a south or southwestern exposure. They're very dry. They're characterized by the underlying geology. So here, they're limestone. Limestone glades are small.
Okay.
They're inherently small. You get to the Ozarks, in southern Missouri, we have very extensive dolomite glades. Southeast Ozarks, there's igneous glades that are granite
Oh,
and
interesting.
rhyolite. There's very rare sandstone glades, even rarer chert glades. But for instance, around here, they'll grow opuntia, the prickly pear cactus.
I see.
We have native cactus here. In southern Missouri, those big dolomite glades, they have a very southwestern character, and the wildlife too. They'll have roadrunners, collared lizards, scorpions, tarantulas, all kinds of cool stuff like that on them. They share a lot of the same flora with prairies.
Okay.
But they can't have their own
Got it.
specific.
Okay. And so it's a little bit like an oak opening.
Yeah,
an oak opening kind of affair. Okay.
In a forest.
Okay, yeah. Got it. It's like a bald.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Connecting the dots between the conversation we just had, have you been working with Osage people at all to try to reconstruct the original cultural burning regimes? Or
not yet here, but that's part of the future kind of bird's eye view of it all.
Cool. Yeah.
Connections, especially because they want to expand the area that we burn closer to the lodge as well. Eventually, once it gets cleared out. So
sure. Yeah.
I think our
Many
timing
steps,
is
but-
probably similar. Burning woodlands, and I can tell you just from my experience doing it, there's a period in early November around here where we're not maple people here, we're oak people. When those oak leaves come down, there'll be a week to 10-day period where 80% of the oak canopy drops. If you can burn right then, they're fluffy, they're
good carry.
ready to carry fire.
Yeah.
So just just to me,
That's when you
that's
do
when
it.
they would have done
Sure,
it.
sure, sure.
The only advantage they had is they didn't have to write burn plans.
No,
And worry about how high
well-
the winds were or how low the humidity was. And their burns would have been a little more effective than ours.
they might not have had to write those. I don't know about Osage burning, but we had burn chiefs who essentially you would have to you would have to do all of that same sort of stuff as to whether it's it wasn't random burning.
Well, you didn't have to consider. I mean, you had neighbors somewhere.
Sure, right.
If they lived before that fire hit the next river, they might be in trouble.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course, good question. So as we keep heading down the trail, we'll stop in front of the larkspurs that are starting to pop off, and that's where you can distribute your seeds if you'd like. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Oh, they're beautiful.
Looking at all this larkspur, most of it's going to be blooming soon. But when I first came here, this was a trail. We're trying to close this trail down because it's erodible. But there was a little open, sunny spot on this side of that trail and another one on that side. That was it. I have an old picture somewhere of I'm standing in front of those 3 post oaks, and the picture was taken from a person standing on the trail, and I'm about 10 feet in front of those post oaks, and you couldn't see the trunks of the post oaks. It was so thick with all the honeysuckle and the other vegetation in here that was clear. And one thing we messed up on was taking the before pictures here. I mean, it was incredible. And what we've cleared out here was all done initially, 90% of it volunteers with hand tools.
Loppers. Yeah. Loppers and poppers. Do you use poppers too to get the roots out?
Not usually because we treat it, but
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
have before, but not usually.
Yeah.
And so this was our very first burn, which in an urban context is a landscape scale burn.
Yes, it is. Bravo. Wow.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah. In fact, I recently learned that one of the Anishinaabe words for this time of year is the woods get loud. Isn't that wonderful? And yeah, exactly. As they do.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Birders, who is that chattering to us? Does anybody?
First ever burn we did here.
I think it's
Oh, interesting.
From the top of the
We don't
rock.
really have those. Oh, yeah, look at those little tails. Blue-gray gnatcatchers. Alrighty, thank you. For us, I'd say kinglets, yellow rumped.
Yellow rump's winter here.
Oh, and then they come to us.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So we look for them as the sign. When they arrive, you look for them when they leave.
Jacobo is a good birder, and when we walk along, I sometimes tell him, if they would all just say their names, that would be.
So, did most of the understory come back after the burn as volunteers, or was this seeded?
Quite a bit of both. There's a lot of the river oaks of Chasmanthium here, which is this guy. I don't know how far.
No, I don't know that.
How far they go. They hang over with. Some people call them. Fish on a stringer.
I know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Chasmanthium
latifolium. It was seeded here, and it's one that we continue to use in areas where we've removed a lot of honeysuckle because it is a really enthusiastic spreader. But will over time outcompete itself.
Oh, perfect. Great colonist, huh? Yeah. Thank you, my friend. Good hand? You good?
Noticing all the lead plant here. This is
oh,
exciting.
nice.
I can only remember one place where I've seen that before up here. So
And again, did that volunteer or did you plant it?
We did.
Or it was remnant, yeah.
I've not seen a lot of success from scattering seed from that, to be honest with you, so I don't know if we can.
Yeah,
Maybe
have been plugged in the early days.
I don't think here. I don't know.
Maybe they were just waiting for you. They were waiting for you.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah.
The magic of a dry glade.
Is this a little panicum?
Yes.
Yeah. Or
Dicanthelium.
Yeah, dicanthelium.
Scrivener,
Yeah.
Scriveners.
Yes.
yeah.
Pretty red. Blue.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
And then these are little adder's tongue ferns.
No kidding.
They're
Wow.
funky ferns, and they shoot
Uh-huh.
up a little.
That's very
It
cool.
doesn't have the sporangia on the bottom of the leaves like you would expect.
It has
from a
it on
plant,
the.
but Instead, it has this guy that comes up, and it wasn't until the other day that I don't know when those come up, they look like tongues, and I go, oh, yeah, adder's tongue.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
it wasn't until the other day that I went, oh yeah, that's the one that actually looks like the snake's tongue. Snake's tongues don't look like this. That looks like my tongue.
So this, instead of spores, they have this.
They're still spores.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting.
Instead of like on the
It's a primitive.
Yeah, like on cinnamon fern or something. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't think I've seen it. All the that has been over here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, several individuals over here.
Robin,
and
this is a limestone glade specialist here.
Yeah.
Species named
Funiculacinium.
Oh. Huh.
The seeds
carrot
are-
family, obviously, and
Yeah.
one of its names is biscuit root. It has a starchy root.
Oh,
Native
this is
American
biscuit root.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Seeds are coming
Interesting little plant, and it likes thin and compacted soil.
It's in the right
It can
place.
grow anywhere, and it'll choose to grow right by the footpath.
Interesting.
It has a strong fungal association too, so that's
Oh, really?
kind of the
Uh-huh.
inspiration behind.
Oh, for the mycorrhizal work, yeah. Uh-huh. So I'm trying to imagine this in summer. Is it more forbs than grass, or a good mix? What's it?
it's a good mix down here, especially. I would say it does lean a little bit more toward forbs.
Yeah. So this area got burned in December, and when we burn in December, we get a better or more robust forb response, and we do a grass response. So
Oh,
that's what you're saying.
oh,
But there's an
cool.
unburned section. We only burned like a third of it this year
Uh-huh.
for some higher diversity. And on the unburned sections, they're more like tall grass, like leaf loosening and things
Oh,
like that.
okay. Thank you. Yeah. Boy, that must be fun to watch the response and
It is,
to let the land teach you what it wants, huh? Thank you, Hunter. Yep.
This is in early June, I think. This is we have so many pale purple coneflowers and purple milkweed.
Oh,
And
uh-huh.
the fritillaries are just, how many butterflies can you fit onto the head of one flower? There's like a week where it's just, it's
Wow.
incredible. It is.
Wow.
like, rip me away from this place.
This is Linda and I went for a hike, and I was talking to her about, well, should I, close my business and apply for this WildLands job? And I stood here and looked at all of those butterflies, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna.
Aw. Yeah.
I mean, I was doing native landscape design, so
That's important too.
yes, but
Yep.
a lot of the designs I would give to people, I didn't do installation, and so you never
Oh,
really know
yeah.
if it's gonna even get planted.
What did they do? Yep.
So, and and I was like, urban gardens are really important. And just standing here, I am seeing more butterflies than will, probably pass through any of my given, clients' gardens over the course of a month.
Yeah,
or more.
bigger impact.
So,
Yeah.
And just getting
Okay,
to spend
there.
my time in places like this instead of yards.
Sure. Yeah. Is glade biology well enough known that you had some good guidance on what were the best restoration practices here, or is it? Well, it's always experimental as well.
For
right?
sure. So this is kind of like an oak hickory savanna complex overall, and the glades are these specifically rocky kind of open canopy outcrops. And there's some pretty good literature and just anecdotal stories, because oak hickory savannas or oak hickory woodlands or the oak openings were pretty prominent up through the middle part of the Midwest, to like kind of mid-Missouri up through the Great Lakes. And so there's lots of like anecdotal and historical evidence, and then scientific studies too. But not a lot of them still exist because they're pretty imperiled, much like tall grass areas or any remnant is really. And so a lot of it was just, like you said, trial and error too, because on paper in Wisconsin is way different than in person in Missouri.
Sure, yeah. Do I remember that Jerry and Carol Baskin, did they work on glades? Do you remember? Do you know them?
Oh, I know them.
They were from Kentucky.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
They wrote a book that I was just looking for the other day. I think they maybe wrote a guide to lichens.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was looking for a guide to lichens or a guide to something. I can't remember what sort of niche-y thing I was looking at, and they had written a book on it.
Cool.
Okay.
I was just trying to think of anything I knew about glades, and somehow their names were popping into my head. Will you tell us? Will you tell us as we walk?
Let's walk inside.
Yeah.
We have
A penstemon story. Nice. Go ahead.
This is the oxymoronic white purple beard tongue. It's purple beard tongue, but it's a white subspecies. It has these very cool purple nectar guides. So it's like the inverse of the purple one, which has white nectar guides.
How about that?
It used to be a plant considered so rare, the subspecies, that we tracked it in the state's heritage database. There's a little population over along I-435 on some rock outcrops where the mowers came within about a foot of that I used to check up on every year.
Oh.
And we collected seed from it and started spreading it over here on the rock outcrops. We gave it to Powell Gardens to grow in flats for us to plant out here, but then we would come out here with those plants, and it likes to grow out of the rocks. We're like, how do we plant this where it wants to be planted? And without a jackhammer, we couldn't do it. We just took the scattering seed, and we did that for years and years, 5, 6 years without success. I would come up here looking for it every year. It was like Charlie Brown kicking the football. One year I come up here, and I'm looking around. I have the purple one in my own garden at home, so I'd know when the timing was right to come and look for it up here in bloom. So I come out here one year, and I'm looking around. I don't see anything. I look down literally by my foot. If there was a snake and should have bit me, there was one in full bloom.
Oh.
So we'll hand everybody a handful of seeds.
What do we got, Seth?
We've got Blazing Star that was collected on Og Prairie last year, which is a prairie managed by the Johnson County Parks Department on the other side of the state line in Kansas. And it is a prairie with sort of a glade area on top. And so one of the things that we have done is to take seed from one of our sites to another and sort of vice versa. We're also doing, I don't know if Hunter's had a chance to talk about doing some mycorrhizal fungi tests,
inoculations. Yeah.
Taking from one glade to the next and then takes a chunk of soil there and bring back here. So this is one of the sites that we've done that. So we've got just a handful of Blazing Star for folks to take.
Good. Thank you.
Let the vibes dictate where you might let it go, and you can sprinkle it high or low. For this kind of seed dispersal, we are not real specific about where it gets, because when the plant is here in the fall and the wind takes it, the wind isn't necessarily taking it to any specific place. So, but as we go along through here, Robin was asking about like the prior history of seeding on this site, and one of the things that we talked about was the river oats, or the Chasmanthium latifolium. For those of you who are familiar with the site, as you come down here, there's quite a bit of it, and then it gets into areas down there where there's quite a bit of it, and it was entirely, or for the most part, seeded here.
Oh no, no, it responded on its own.
All of it.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So Larry said the river oats all responded on its own, that it was never actually seeded here, which is incredible. It is a huge seed source for us.
Like fire.
Yeah, thank you. I had no idea. It is a huge seed source for us for collecting river oats to take to other sites where we have removed honeysuckle, in part because it spreads rapidly. And it will, over time, sort of outcompete itself and let some of the other things that we want to see move in. But we do a honeysuckle replacement mix that is 90% river oats. But in the fall, especially this trail is gorgeous all times of year. There is something really special happening, and the rocks are beautiful, and the trees are really sculptural. But the the river oats, especially in the fall when it all turns golden, is just a sea. It is just beautiful down here.
Really fun.
Nice.
It is
It
fun.
is.
Oh.
It sounds like popcorn. All the little, all the little seeds. So anyway, as we're going to kind of make a curve down here, and then after that point, we're going to, as we go across like sort of the main area of the glade, wherever you feel led to let a little sprinkle go.
Do you tamp them in at all, or just scatter?
Up here, we previously just scattered.
Okay. Let me lay down my. This is larkspur, right?
In your hand is Blazing Star.
Oh, blazing star. That's right. Yeah. I don't want to step on any of these little adders, Tony. Oh my gosh, they're cute.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
I want to find my way back to the path without stepping on any friends. Yep.
Okay, if everyone wants to gather around closer this way for just a moment, we're about to wrap up to be respectful of everyone's time, even though it's beautiful outside. So I know not everyone was at the luncheon earlier, and Robin gave a lovely synopsis of the Plant Baby Plant movement that you're spearheading with partners.
Yeah.
So if you would like to share a few words about that so everyone's on board, that would be great.
Sure. Plant Baby Plant is, inspired by what you're doing here. As I travel around, which I do a lot, what I hear from people relentlessly is, what can I do? What can I do? And so to try to direct people with that longing, we're trying to launch Plant Baby Plant as a counter narrative to Drill Baby Drill, and say that what we really need to do is restoration. What we need to do is to counter those forces of destruction with forces of regeneration. And so the idea is a call to action, and to try to help connect people to the work. And for some people, that means a little pocket pollinator garden in the city. And for other people, it means call you up and get yourself over here to help do the work. And so one of the things that we're hoping to do is to use the platform to share stories, to inspire others. There are so many people who are doing planting and restoration. We're not doing that. What we're trying to do is to be the cheerleaders for that, because most people, and I wonder whether this is true for you, the organizations that we talk to say, yeah, we've got volunteers, but it's the same people over and over again. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yes. Right. So how do we make this a more widespread practice, to really be involved in planting in whatever form that takes for you? And so the website is starting to be a really good place for people to share their stories. I hope that you all will share your story there. Sure. And eventually what we want to do is to have online workshops and conversations. We have right now just plant circles where we invite somebody in to talk about the work. But, we've only been in existence for a few months, really. So we're just beginning this. So any guidance you might have for us about what you need to spread your message, to convert what so many of us are doing around the country into a movement, so that we all feel each other's presence and the energy and the hope and the resources as well. If you have toolkits, what you learn here, share them, because there might be somebody else who wants to restore a glade. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the general idea. Yeah. So come join us. Sign up.
Okay, I think that it's only appropriate that the last thing we end on is the founder of WildLands reading our long-standing mission statement about why we do what we do. Larry, take it away.
I wanted to share this before we left today. Our mission statement with WildLands, which we debated and argued over for a long time. Kat and Linda, remember that. Kansas City WildLands conserves, protects, and restores, and we use those words because they stand for CPR. Conserve, protect, and restores remnants of Kansas City's original landscape by involving people in the stewardship of the land. That last part was very critical. So when I read this the other day, it just smacked me right between the eyes. Restoring land without restoring relationship is an empty exercise. It is relationship that will endure and relationship that will sustain the restored land. Therefore, reconnecting people and the landscape is as essential as reestablishing proper hydrology or cleaning up contaminants. It is the medicine for the earth. Someone we know.
Same theme. Yeah.
Statement when I read that. There were times up here, honestly, we could have gotten MDC, Department of Conservation, and Parks Department people with power tools, 5 or 6 of us, and done as much as 30 people with hand saws and loppers, but which is more effective in the long run. So that really spoke to me.
Much gratitude to you. Gratitude for all of you. Plant, baby, plant!
Thank you again for tuning into a special episode of Bridging the Chat, a podcast connecting people and their environment. Now, if you're a regular listener, you know that we like to treat you with a fun environmental fact at the end of every episode. Here's today's fun fact, brought to you by Sarah.
You may know that bison used to roam the area, now known as Kansas City, but did you know that we can still find evidence of their presence on some of our remnant prairies around Kansas City? You can find bison wallows. A bison wallow is where bison will take a dust bath or a mud bath, which they do for a lot of different reasons, but among them for cooling, for providing some protection from bugs and biting insects on their skin. And they tend to use the same areas over and over again. So many different individuals will use a wallow, and it creates this sort of depression in the earth. And the microhabitat that's created there, both by the disturbance and the compacted soil, and the fact that these wallows will hold water when it rains after the rest of the surrounding land has dried out,